Number one, you need to understand that sales in its natural essence is intrusive. Nobody is always ready to be sold to. And this is where a lot of people shy from sales, because it's a way of intruding into other people's lives. And this, first of all, puts you on the exposure of rejection, which is why a lot of people barely succeed in sales, because you have that internal fear of rejection. You all don't like being told no. Now, for you to master sales, you need to understand that, first of all, rejection isn't personal. When someone tells you no, usually it could be other factors. It could be a factor of money, it could be a factor of timing. It has nothing to do with you. A good salesperson understands this. Step number one. Meaning, you don't have to necessarily like rejection. I'm not saying you like being told no, but you've got to accept that it's part of the process. That's how you move forward. Which brings me to number two. The reason why a lot of deals don't go through, it's never because your idea is bad. It's never because your product or service is bad. It's just you've not mastered the art of timing. Why is timing so important? I'm making this video because I just got a call from our new clients. They're based in Dubai. They are telling us we need to close on a business that we've been on for the last 6 months. I think it's even 8 months. I even forgot following up on that particular business. To understand and master the art of timing, especially if you're trying to sell not superficial product or service, but you're trying to sell something of depth, something with weight, something that's gonna make that person punch their pocket to pay your organization or your company, then you've got to master the art of patience. It's a skill. And timing itself is not pragmatic. I've seen people trying to get instant gratification out of their sales process. So you clearly can see a client, for example, is not in a good mood. A client is not in a good phase of business. A client is probably going through some things, and you want to still drill it down. The other person has to meet you halfway. So even as a salesperson, don't be so adamant with the common notion that sales is just a matter of numbers. So you keep going and going and going. You've got to look at, in this particular situation, how am I timing myself? And does it align with the client? You know what will blow your mind if you want to master selling is arriving at the understanding that the market is barely saturated. We have this notion that the market is saturated. It is never the case in reality. You've got to understand that there's so much money circulating in the economy. There is so much abundance going on in the economy. And there's so many clients. The market is barely saturated. So this is your chance to hope on, because the fear you're having is stopping you from actively connecting with who your ideal client is. This mentality is important even if you're running the smallest of organizations or companies. I remember a few years ago when you're starting our marketing agency, we did with visibility and revenue for organizations, businesses, corporations and all that. And coming into the market meant you are literally competing against the big dogs, people who are older, people who've been doing this for centuries, people who have connections with corporations, and it was so belittling. And then you realize years later that you actually do a brilliant job, 100 times better than they do. It means if you just stem from that value from the word go, you'd make your work so much easier, because I promise you the market needs you and the market needs your touch, because there's something different you bring that nobody else can bring. You've got to operate from that knowing, from that identity, from that understanding. This is how you conquer marketing. This is how you conquer sales. You have to know your business inside out. This is energetically, because you exude what your business is. But most importantly, you've got to know the reason why someone might not likely buy from you. Yes, it's part of knowing your business. So it's important to have these objections at the back of your mind, because 9 out of 10, the client will bring up the objections, and you don't want to diminish the objections. You simply need to counter it from a reference of having thought of it before, because that way you get to come out as not just confident, but you understand the nature of what you do and what you're up to. Fourth, let's say your product has 10 facts about it. A good salesperson knows how to de-emphasize some points and how to emphasize some points. They can literally come up with totally 10 different impressions about the same product or service. This is important. because here's the thing, you reflect the value of your product to the client. And this is why you can't cheat through this process, because literally energy can be felt. So you've got to actually believe in your product or service so that the other person can pick up on your energy. But this comes down to understanding the nitty-gritties. Can you create 10 different impressions? Do you know what to emphasize on? Do you know what to de-emphasize on? But can you put someone across the table and actually convince them? Lastly, once you are in the negotiation state and you've stated your offer, here's a trick most people are not aware of. Please move into silence. The more you talk post that, the more you water down everything you've done so far. So this is the phase where you take a step back and you let the client come towards you. Because once you've stated your offer and you keep moving towards the client, now you're taking away the charm from your end. You've got to let them make that decision. Let them come to you. I will share a longer version of this on YouTube. Link is on my bio. Our Diaspora Masterclass is coming up on 15th of February next month. Can't wait to meet you guys from around the world. The local current edition should be 21st, the Friday after that. See you then. Cheers. Let me know what you think.